Thank you for checking out my channel. My name is Chris Manuel. This is part 2 of my explanation of drop 3 chords. Today we're going to focus on drop 3 chords with the root on the 5th string and going over those types of forms. And these are pretty much based on the A form bar chords, and we'll go over those as well. Just to review, I would recommend watching the video that has a better explanation and more diagrams. Part 1 of the drop 3 chords explained. But just a quick explanation, in case you missed that video. If you stacked a chord in thirds to form a 7th chord, which is pretty much what we're going to focus on today. Let's take a D chord, for example, okay? So, if we stacked it in thirds, we'd have let's say the 5th on top in this case, then the 3rd, and then the root, and then if we were doing a major 7, the 7 would be there as well. And you see, this would be a very difficult shape to play. So, that's the 3rd note from the top, so we're going to drop the 3 an octave. Put it there. So now we have the 5th note of the chord, the 3rd, we're going to drop the root, and we're going to play the major 7 right here. So here's your major 7 drop 3 shape with the root on the 5th string. So let's talk about how it relates to those open position A chords, okay? So for those of you who don't know, this is A major 7, and the drop 3 major 7 shape is very similar to this. It just takes this note out of the chord so that we don't double any notes, okay? And we also don't end up with this power chord in the bass. The fretboard, well, I'll just do it in open position and mute that string. Okay, so we'll just take the 5th out of there. Sometimes you'll see these chords referred to as dead string chords. So I'm going to go back to D here. So we're going to put our 1st finger on the root. We'll put our 3rd finger on the major 7. 4th finger on the 3rd, and that's the 7th fret on the F sharp note, and our 2nd finger here on the A on the 1st string, which is the 5 of the chord. Okay, we'll play those, and that's our sound. The next shape, why don't we do dominant 7? Okay, so to get a dominant 7, for a major 7, we're just going to take that 7th note and lower it to be a flat 7. So we'll now have root, flat 7, major 3, 5. Again, it's called a dead string chord because we're going to mute this string here with the back of our index finger. Okay. Now, some of these chords you may find, as I do, that sometimes it's just easier to do the 5th string bar chord, the A form bar chord. So in this case we'd have A7, move it up to the 5th fret, we have D7. If you don't want that power chord shape or that power chord sound in the bass, this works nicely. It's also a good left hand workout, big stretch here. I find a lot of these chords are just good for study, you know. Sometimes they're not going to be the most practical, but the more that you can add to your chord vocabulary, the better it'll show up in your solos and as well as your rhythm playing. The next type we'll cover is a minor 7. So we'll do the drop 3, the 5th, and the minor 7 with a flat 3. Here's the 1, now we'll lower that an octave. And then we have a flat 7 here. So this is our shape. So we're going to mute the fourth string again with the back of our first finger. We've got our third finger on the A note, which is the fifth. Fourth finger on the F note, which is the minor third. The second finger on the C note, which is the minor 7 or flat 7. And first finger on the root. Okay. Last but not least, we have the minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished chord. So we just take this shape here and we lower the fifth 1 fret to make it a flat 5. And this is the only one of the chord types that you can't really do with the A form. You know, we can do A major 7, we can do A7, we can do A minor 7, and if you do A minor 7 flat 5, you have to mute the first string because it's a major 5 or a natural 5 or a perfect 5th. That'd be pretty dissonant. So this is, I'm going to raise it up an octave there. Or if you review the first video, part 1, we went over this chord voicing here, which allows you to play the same notes and lower the fifth. Okay, so please check that video out. But this is the chord shape we're going to be using for today. Okay, this one's pretty useful because you can't get away with it with one of those bar chord shapes like you can the other 3 forms. I'm going to try to include diagrams for those. Hopefully that you found those helpful. I would recommend that you take any of these shapes and first start by playing them to the circle of fourths to make sure you know all the notes on the 5th string. It also gives you an opportunity to reinforce the chord shape. Okay, so I'll put the circle of fourths up here. So we could do C major 7, F major 7, B flat major 7, E flat major 7, A flat major 7, D flat major 7, G flat major 7, B major 7, E major 7, A major 7, D major 7, G major 7, back to C major 7. And if nothing else, memorizing that circle of fourths is very useful if you're going to try to play some jazz tunes and to be able to quickly identify 2-5-1s because they progress in that, right around that circle. They progress in fourths, just like you will encounter when you practice these chords to the circle. All right. So for today, I thought maybe we would play a song and apply these chord shapes. Remember, you can always rewind and review. I'm going to try to cover Autumn Leaves. You wouldn't play just these chord shapes, but as a chord study I think that's perfectly fine. And I know a lot of people analyze this song in G minor, and that's the key we're going to play today. I prefer to think of it as all just being chords from B flat major. And if you do this, and you're going to stick on one string, try to visualize the B flat major scale up that string. And then, using the Nashville numbering system or the number system, you can identify each of these chords by its location in the scale. So if we think of it as in being in B flat, which I prefer to do, but then you'd have the 2 chord, second note of the scale, to the 5th note, so it'd be the 5 chord, to the 1 chord, first note of the scale, to the 4th, and then up up here's the 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And remember, I actually have a video on the major scale. And remember, it's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So we'd be on 7, and then we're going to use, for D7, we use this shape, and then G is 6. And that's the majority of the chords for this one. We're going to give it a shot. Okay? I'll put a chart up here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, thank you. Hope you found that helpful. If you need any additional help, or you have topic suggestions of any song or topic, please comment below. Also, please like and subscribe, and check out some of the other videos I have available. Thank you very much.